Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that you guys have requested over and over. It's actually been my most requested video, and that is how I organise my life. This feels kind of weird to do because I'm used to chatting about, doing tags or wrap-ups or doing recommendation videos. So talking about this feels a bit weird. I hope it's interesting, I hope it's useful. As usual, I haven't scripted this. I do have a few notes just to make sure I cover everything. But this is just going to be me chatting to you about how I keep things running. So yeah, I hope this is useful. So I am a very organised person. I'm known for being organised. It's definitely a habit that's taken a lot of years to get into. It's also partly a way of managing my anxiety, particularly when I was first ill. These days my anxiety is nowhere near as bad, but I've kind of kept some of these habits because they're actually, some of them are useful. So yeah, I guess let's get into it. So I have several parts of my life that I need to kind of keep going all the time to make sure that everything is done that's needed to be done, and that everyone's happy and all that kind of thing. So I've kind of made a little list of like the plates that I spin, I guess. So the first one, the most important one, is obviously Charlie. He's my 10-year-old, and although he's only with us during normal life, he's only with us every other weekend and the holidays. Obviously all the decisions that we make, whether he's here or not, are kind of based around Charlie and what he needs and all that kind of thing. So he's always the first component to go into the calendar, so to speak, work out when our Charlie weekends are and what we're going to do on those weekends. And yeah, that's always the first priority. Then there is obviously the house. There's a house to run, and housework to do, and chores and just things that need to be done to keep the house running. Then there's work, or at the moment for me that's university, and that is a whole new world of organisation that I'm having to get into, and I will touch on it briefly here, but I am also vlogging my first 6 weeks of PGCE, so I'll also mention in there anything that I find helpful as I go along. And then there's Booktube, there's books, which kind of splits into two because there's Booktube and there's reading, and for me they're two very, very separate things, so we'll talk about that. So yeah, those are kind of all the plates that I keep spinning. On top of that, there's also obviously keeping Jack, our cat, alive and happy, and my marriage and my relationship, which is just, the foundation of everything. So there's lots going on, and for me there are kind of two keys, I guess, to being organised. The first is habits, because once something becomes a good habit, you don't really have to think about it and it just keeps rolling. And the second is lists. I'm all about lists and charts and calendars, and I would not manage without that. So I thought I would show you. This is like the super nerdy thing that I do, but this was for August. I'm not obviously going to show you September because that would be a security issue, but this was August, and this is what my calendar looks like every single month. So for example, like yellow was all the days that we had Charlie. The blue stuff was reading that I needed to do. Pink was setting up for university because last month I was getting ready to go to uni. And then green is Booktube, and the orange is like the other stuff. So I literally plot out my whole month because that's how cool I am. But I ticked everything off by the end of the month and I got it all done. So this is what works for me. I'm very visual. So having it literally written down in front of me is really helpful, because then I don't have to think about it anymore, because it's planned. I know what I'm doing each day. I get up, I check the calendar, I see what needs doing, and I get on with it, and it's really that simple. Plus, who doesn't love playing around with highlighters? So yeah, that's my biggest tip, is to just literally write it down, get it out of your brain, then you don't have to worry about it anymore, and you know what you're doing each day. So yeah, that's the nerdiest thing I've ever admitted to on the internet. So I'll just hold that there for a second so you can see it. So yeah, that is basically how I keep things organised, but I will break it down for you a bit more. So there's that. Like I said, Charlie is always the first priority, so we'll plan out what we're doing with him when we've got him. As with most kids, there's certain things he will and won't eat, so meal planning is different when he's with us. And yeah, we'll just kind of keep track of when we've got him, when we haven't. For work and university, right, this is where the lists come in, especially for my PGCE. At the moment I have three, hang on, let's do this separately. I have three separate to-do lists for different things, because for me, like I said, I'm very visual. So there are loads of apps that people use for organisation. I don't use my phone for organisation, partly because I prefer physically to write things down and cross them off, but also because I think like most people, I spend so much time on screens that if I can have some time away, that is definitely an option I'm going to take. So at the moment I have 3. They're all for different things. So I use this little one, oh that's very white, for household chores at the weekend, which I'll talk about more in a minute. Then I got this one, which the lovely Faye sent me for my birthday from Mystery Date with a Book. So I'm currently using this for like my day-to-day PTC to-do list. And can we just talk about this cats on here, because they look so much like Jack. They just make me happy. Yeah, so these are things I need to do next, like most urgently. And then yesterday I bought this one, which is so pretty. And this is for long-term assignments, so like big assignments that I've got coming up. I've got their due dates. It's just so I can keep in my head when they're due and what's coming up next. So these 3 things are really important. And also it's important for me specifically to separate them out. Because I love to complete a to-do list, so I don't like to-do lists that are too long and unmanageable. So I would like, ideally, apart from this one, which is obviously long term, at the end of every day to have cleared down this list, and then this is for weekend chores. So that definitely works for me. And then also for my PGC, I've also bought my first ever planner, which is beautiful. I've never really seen the point of planners before because to-do lists and stuff were enough, but now that I've got like things to remember, you know, it's been really useful. Plus, and this shows that I'm actually 5 years old, this one came with stickers, which you can see I've already started to use for like different things, and then you stick them in the planner. Oh, that's what basically sold me the planner, I can't lie. So yeah, I think this is going to be really useful, especially when I start placement and I need to remember 5,000 things. This will just help me keep it all in one place, and it's got like pockets at the back and at the front so that you can put bits of paper in. So yeah, I'm kind of new to the planner thing, but so far I'm really enjoying it. So those are those things. And then our home. So we work together, and when I say we, I mean me and my husband Gary. We split the chores. So we both have certain chores that we do, and that really works for us because then like one of us isn't waiting for the other one to do something, or it's just very clear. We just like to be clear and obviously communicate. Communication is key. So for example, I clean the bathrooms in our house and he hoovers. He puts the bins out. I do the meal planning and the food shopping. He does most of the cooking the week. I tend to cook at weekends, unless we're on holiday, and then we split it between us. What else? He cuts the grass. I look after the pots and things, or I try to. I kind of suck at that, but I do my best. So yeah, we definitely divide and conquer when it comes to that kind of thing. Saturdays are our day off, so we don't do any chores on a Saturday aside from like a little bit of laundry to try and keep on top of that. And then Sunday morning is like our chore time, so we will just literally get straight up, get on with our chores, you know, so get the cleaning done and get ready for the week, and he'll put the bins out, etc, etc. And then from Sunday lunchtime until the end of Sunday, that's more chill time. So we know when we're going to get stuff done, which means we don't need to worry about it because we know it will happen. And that's another thing I'd really recommend, is getting into a routine, because for example, I don't worry about the fact that the bathrooms need cleaning on a Thursday because I know on Sunday I will get it done. So it's all about, for me, it's just about managing everything and doing a little bit each day of some things, but also building in enough time for you to sit and chill, which leads me very smoothly, not very smoothly, is it? Let's be fair, into books and reading. So for me, reading is one hobby, Booktube is another. Let's talk about Booktube first. So as you guys will know if you've watched any of my previous videos, I bulk film. So I bulk film at the start of the month for that month. So today is I think it's the 10th of September, and I'm filming all of my September videos today. I didn't need to film earlier in the month because my first video of the month is always my wrap up, which I do vlog style because that works better for me. Doing the sit down traditional format wrap up just didn't work for me because I read quite a lot of books, although I'm sure that's going to change this month. And by the time I got to the end of the month, I couldn't really remember enough detail, and I would always watch my wrap-ups back and think, oh, I meant to say this. Whereas if I do it as I go along, it's much easier and more manageable for me to film. 2, it's not a pain in the bum to film at the end of the month and try and remember everything, and you sit there for like 40 minutes like trying to remember vaguely what a book is about. And also I feel like I do a better job for you guys because you get a proper review from me. And also, side note, I see people apologising for long wrap-ups. let's not do that anymore. I will never apologise for a long wrap up, because to me that is the point of BookTube. People come to us for our book reviews, and so yeah, my wrap ups are always the longest videos on my channel, and that's just how it is, because I've got things to say and I've got opinions and I read a lot of books, so they will be long. Yeah, so BookTube, I always plan videos a couple of weeks before I film them, and I do all that prep beforehand, and then I spend probably 2-ish hours filming for the month. I do it all in one go, so I've already filmed one video, I've got another one to do after this, and I will just go straight through and film, and then I will spend an hour or so this afternoon doing my rough edits. We all know I don't really edit, making thumbnails, and then uploading and scheduling, and then it's done, and that's literally it. So I always schedule about half a day for BookTube per month, because then I am doing something I enjoy, because I love BookTube. I'm interacting with you guys, I'm getting videos up, but I don't have to worry about it every week, whereas that's how I was doing it beforehand. I was filming a day or so before a video was going up, but trying to fit it in every week is too much, whereas if I just put aside half a day or a day for BookTube each month, it's done, I've enjoyed it, hasn't impacted on other stuff, I can manage it, everybody's happy. Yeah, so that's how I do BookTube. And then reading, which is my main love in life. So my reading habits. I read every day. So far, I'm only 2 weeks into the PGC, so this might change. So far, I've managed to read at a quote-unquote normal level. I suspect that will change, particularly when I start placement in October. But I always make time for reading in the evenings. I don't really watch TV, which is no judgment on anyone. Everyone should just spend their time how they want to. But for me, I need to read in the evenings to like decompress, turn my brain off, and because I enjoy it. So it's a priority for me. I don't do TBR videos, which you guys might have noticed, but that is because if I set a TBR at the start of the month, it's very, very likely that I will read those books in the month. So it feels like doing the same video twice in a TBR and then a wrap up. It feels like you're getting the same content twice. Also in a TBR, I haven't read the books yet, so I can't really give an opinion. So I personally don't film TBR videos, but I will show you how I put my TBR together. So this was, let's try and hold this stack up. This was September's TBR, some of which I've already read. So this was September. Now, I'm going to put this down for a second. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to read during my PGCE. But I do also want to read every day because it's good for my mental health. So I have only got a certain amount of books that I have to read in the month. And that will be a buddy read, which this month was Far From the Tree by Robin Benway, which I've read with Charlotte from Books and Bargains and had a fab time, but you'll see this is not a wrap up, so I'm not getting into it. Also the Atwood for the month, which this month was Alias Grace. And then for the rest of my reading, so put those two over there. Then for the rest of my reading, I will make sure there's a mix. So it'll be a book I'm really excited about. I was really excited to read this, which is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. I was gifted, very, very kindly gifted, 3 of these illustrated editions for my birthday, and this was the one that Charlie picked for me, so it was obviously the first one I was going to read. I will then always make sure there's at least one non-fiction, which at the moment is Don't Touch My Hair by Emma Tiberi, which I'm currently reading and loving. So that will be those. Oh, I was trying to make this stack smaller. Then I will try and mix in at least one of the books. My brother gifted me 5 books for my birthday, all of which were literary fiction and all looked really interesting. So I'm trying to get one of those in the mix each month. This month's pick was, what are you called? Burnt Sugar by Ivani Doshi. I will always try and mix in at least one easy thriller. I've actually got 2 this month, and they are, let's hold these up properly, The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell and The Upstairs Room by Kate Murray Brown, just for like some like easier, like more fun reading. And then also I've put in The Test by Sylvain Nouvel. I need to find out how to say his name properly, because this is just a really short book. I want to do a video next month on my favourite short reads, so I put this in, so I've hopefully got another one if I enjoy it to put in. So that's kind of the mix. I try and make sure there's always one Atwood, there's always one buddy read. I try and limit my buddy reads to 1 a month, especially at the moment, because I just want to be able to make sure I can actually finish the books I've promised people. 1 non-fiction, 1 literary fiction, 1 thriller, and one that I'm like super excited about. And I have also been making a conscious effort to diversify my reading, and because of the books that I had on my wish list and that I was gifted for my birthday, this is actually really easy right now. So yeah, it's kind of coming through naturally rather than in a like forced way, which I just didn't want to do because it just seems a bit fake. So yeah, that's how I organise my reading. I also stack the books in the order that I want to read them, which they were just now until I destroyed this stack. So I am not a mood reader. I tried to mood read in August and Charlotte thought it was absolutely hilarious because I kept texting her being like, I don't know how to choose a book. So I will always stack them in the order that I want to read them, so I just pick up the next one on the stack. I don't really have to choose because choosing a TBR is hard enough. So this is the order that I'm reading this month. So starting out with the Robin Benway because Charlotte and I are always reading the first week of the month. I also have my Atwood for the first week of the month as well. Then I was reading this at the weekend because Charlie was around. I wanted him to see me read it. This I've been reading upstairs. Oh, I've got it in the wrong order. Because Cinderella. I also picked up Cinderella at the weekend to kind of mix that in. Oh my god, this is really hard to hold up. Okay. Fail. Right. So this was the stack. So this, the Don't Touch My Hair, I have been reading on my lunch break during uni, and then this is what I will be reading for the rest of the month in order. I've also got, what are you called, The Rapture, which is over there, which I'm reading in the evenings at the moment, but for me it's just easier to like work out the order I want at the start of the month, and I can just grab each book as I get to it, don't have to think about it, and that's it. I think that was all my points. So yeah, to me, organisation is good habits, to-do lists, it's pretty much it. And also just don't put pressure on yourself. We can't all be superhumans all the time. And for me, if I can get to the end of the day and my to-do list is done, I feel good about it. But if I have a day where I need to write a shorter, easier to-do list, then that's okay too. I hope some of this has been useful. I don't know how interesting it's been. I mean, stickers in the diary are pretty cool. Yeah, so I hope this has been useful. Drop me a comment below and let me know how you stay organised, if you've got any tips, because I'm always on the lookout for new ways of doing things. So yeah, drop me a comment if you've got any tips, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye!